Hello and welcome to another episode of my life. I had my premiere last Saturday for the Rendezvous Vendetta. I want to thank everyone for coming and, in these weird times, you guys still came out to support little me. And for the individuals that had the pleasure to be part of this movie, I hope you guys were very entertained and liked how you were portrayed on the big screen. This would be probably my third movie premiere. My first was a film called Big John in 2023, a little small gathering. And I'm just outside of the gym in Mesa. And I every time I have these premieres, I always think it's going to be the last time because I never can be too sure who's going to actually show up. Because everyone has their own little groups and fan bases out here, and I never think I have the biggest ones, but I have a loyal group of supporters. And these theaters cost money, so people are, we want to have a premiere, we want to see on the big screen, and I'm just like, I don't think there's a big enough audience for something like I'm doing. These action comedies made really down and dirty, not really a traditional set. Usually I rent locations based on beer space, and I film guerrilla style. And I do, I guess what I'm saying is that sometimes I would see other peers of mine in Arizona, and they just kind of have their own bigger groups than me. And they put out maybe like a 10-minute short, and then they get all these people to show up. And I'm lucky to get, more than 15. 49 people paid for tickets, probably more showed up, but either way, that helps me out. Because, these theaters are not cheap. But, there are certain sound mixing I have to fix in certain elements. Because it's one thing when you see the movie on your tablet or your TV and it sounds fine. But then when you convert it to a DCP file, there are certain sounds and music that sound louder than it's supposed to or quieter. Trying to find that happy balance. But, I made movies for essentially, streaming. But I gotta say, it's a pretty cool experience to see it on an actual theater. And people seem to really like it. People actually were invested, and they treated it like it's a big event, like a Marvel film. The Rendezvous 1 is on Amazon Prime, along with my other work. That's the most notable one. Rendezvous Vendetta passed quality control, so now it's going through, the waiting period of 2 to 12 weeks for a platform so they could license it. Usually something like Amazon, hopefully a Tubi. I did pay a little bit more so I can pitch it to a bigger platform because I think it's worthy of that. Of all the low budget, or as some people call it, backyard movies, I think this is the most high quality I've made so far. And me and my partner, we are going to be experimenting with visual effects soon. So if you haven't seen Vendetta, not really a huge spoiler, but we're starting to, get into the cyberpunk sci-fi element. Especially since, it's not really a secret, it's in the trailer. My character gets a gauntlet with some electromagnetic pulsing going on through it. My character's hand gets damaged, but instead of going to the hospital, he desperately looks for an ally to help him maybe make some type of gadget to help him fight the main villain. And instead of kind of bandaging it up, he gets kind of an armored hand that has a type of electromagnetic feel to it. The identity of this gauntlet will be explored in the future. And I think it's okay. God, these cars are freaking crazy. Some of these sports cars, their exhaust sounds like gunfire. Anyways, I don't think it's a bad idea to explore the science fiction elements. I think we're going to end up a little bit more comic booky in the future. I'm cleaning up my boxing a lot more because, my back's all messed up. So I can only be so nimble, right? But for a guy with a messed up back who's getting disability from the VA, I think I do pretty good. At least, so I've been told by my boxing peers, that I punch really hard. I have pretty good technique. Still working on my footwork. I can't have flat-footed elements, but, for a guy that does security a lot, and I'm on my feet, I have flat-footed tendencies. But, yeah, no, people seem to really like the Rendezvous Vendetta, like genuinely. And I think because at work, I'm usually pretty quiet. I do more thinking than I do talking. Because it's the nature of the job. Sometimes it's hard for me to take genuine compliments as reality. I would assume that it's out of politeness. Because, in the acting community or, the film circles, people that make kind of mediocre, schlocky stuff. But they want to be polite. Oh, it was amazing. You're a genius. You're this. You made a masterpiece. But, no, he didn't. He didn't make a masterpiece. Is like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, come on. Made a B movie. I try to add more substance and a dense story for the type of genre it is. Obviously, I'm good at action and I'm good at comedy, and I think I'm one of the few out here that is, I would probably say, one of the best. I haven't met anyone. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just advocating on a skill set I'm really good at. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to make bleak indie films or something really dark and kind of a weird subject matter just to create shock value. Certain filmmakers, or they'll mask that as creativity. I don't know. I think that's just a cop-out for certain individuals to express their weirdness. And then there's no targeted audience. Or if there is, it's just so small. I'm like, who is this for? Why are we watching this? Or if someone puts so much money in like a 10-minute short film to make it look as glossy and Hollywood possible, at that point you might as well make a feature, because I'm doing a lot more with significantly less resources. And we're just a two-man team. It's me, director, producer, writer, usual lead actor, and editor. Then I got Matt, my DP, my producing partner, sometimes co-writer. We have a very healthy relationship. I don't know. It's just, I just don't believe in waiting for permission. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I did the actor circle of, oh, you're not good enough, you got to go to this acting class. And in order to go to this acting class, you got to pay this much. And then when you do, then you can meet casting directors, and they're the same casting directors in the local market that do the same commercials, and even then they have their favorites based on looks. They're not interested in making you a leading actor. They just need we need males 18 to 30 to be in a dish soap commercial, stuff like that. I think I've personally just been through too much in my life and had too much experience to just be told, oh, you need to wait, you're not good enough. For me, it's like I already know what I bring to the table. The reality is that certain casting directors in bigger projects will not look at me as a Timothée Chalamet type actor. They'll see as a big guy holding a gun, and that's cool. But for the smaller indie circle, I might as well showcase a little bit more value. as an actor. Like I'm not like a vertical actor handsome. Not saying I'm ugly. But that's not things that basically what I'm saying is things that would be considered as a detriment, like my tattoos and my build, are my asset. And that's part of, I guess, my character, my brand. And I think it's been well received. People like my kind of, I guess you could call it not goofy, but like a funnier Jack Reacher. Kind of a built stature, but I'm a little bit more clumsy. I mean, I'm a boxer, right? I'm a Marine Corps veteran, a disabled one, because there's certain movements I can't do because it hurts my body, but I kind of own up to it, and I make jokes about it, usually on film. So, I think it works well for me. And, I try to carry this attitude of optimism, even though at work sometimes like 8 hours standing or 8 hours moving around, I'm just looking at merchandise, making sure it's tethered, make sure nothing's missing, nothing got stolen. And, my body hurts because, my lower lumbar pain and my arthritis, it's easy for my mind to despair and I start thinking all the negative stuff. But then when I sit down, I got a really good workout. I think I'm going to do some more boxing tomorrow. And I realize, you know what? I am a little bit closer to the best version of myself. And I can see myself where I want to be in the next 5 years. I think the future is very bright for me, even where right now it seems stagnant. And trust me, I've had moments where I'm thinking, man, I am just cooked. I'm working more than I'm acting. I'm not creating much, but I'm very grateful I got a partner like Matt to kind of motivate me, especially since he believes in what I do and he knows that I have to be the captain of the ship. I have to be the one like, hey guys, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to film here this time. I'm going to put it on this platform and we're going to move on to the next thing. And for me, I just feel like I have to do that in order to really accelerate instead of just going through the motions. And I've been very fortunate to meet some amazing people and some great friends who take my work seriously. And if you haven't got a chance to look at, I'll put the link, but there's some interviews from my premiere, and a few of the cast had a chance to chime in on what they liked about the movie, talking about working with me, and it was very flattering stuff. So I appreciate everyone for being candid and at the same time professional. It makes me feel good that I could tell who's not phoning it in. These were genuine compliments. It's very rare to have supporters like that, because in a lot of times you say, people will tell you, I wish you the best. But a lot of the times it's like, I don't want to see, a lot of people, they'll say that, or, gosh, I cannot speak to save my life. Basically, people want you to do well, but not better than them. And if they see you're a little ambitious, it could cause some envy. And I've had to break out of certain friend groups. Maybe I wasn't fitting their brand, their little element. I'm a big believer, if you don't like your reality, change it. I don't like wallowing. I like getting up and doing something about it. I mean, I'm human. I can vent, But I'm also someone that I have the fortune to travel. I have a job that I can call out if I need to. I got 2 jobs that it's not like I'm gonna, if I go, the whole foundation's gonna crumble. So I'm very selective with my next move. I try to be around good people, quality people. I want to improve myself because of them, and not just kind of staying in this circle of cynical people. It's easy to do that. And I try to use my art. You know, some people can look at it as just beat 'em up movies, and that's fine. I like to think when you actually give a chance to watch it, there's real substantial emotional subtext there. But, you know, that's the nature of the beast. A lot of times I gotta be my own cheerleader. Just one clap in the auditorium. Usually I gotta clap for myself. You know. But that's just for now. It's a lot of hard work. But I think for the type of movies I make, and I took a good look at myself, really digested what I've consumed media-wise growing up, how that's impacted on how I tell stories, on what I value in plot lines and themes and I guess heroism. I think all that has helped mold me to be a better filmmaker than I was in 2023. And I started off making the majority of my first movie with iPhone 13. Now I got Z-Cam. If you don't know what that is, it's a cube, which is a cinema camera that they mounted on cars for the last 2 Mission Impossible chase scenes. And I got it for a steal. And I've been using that camera ever since. And it's given my film projects this very professional look to it. Like, not DSLR camera, like it looks like a big blockbuster movie. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I know this was kind of a ramble video, but you know, I guess I wanted to express gratitude and talk about my thoughts, but mostly thanking people for showing up to the Rendezvous Vendetta premiere. The Rendezvous Vendetta premiere. There was a time I could speak. I'm a little bit tired, in case you couldn't tell. I will keep you all posted when it's streaming, hopefully soon, because I think it's a pretty fun, independent action comedy. And it shouldn't be that long till, you know, a platform like maybe Tubi or Amazon will license it. If not, I will release it in some manner. I do think it's one of my, if not my most highest quality film yet. We're only going bigger in the future. And yeah, I'll keep you all posted. Sorry if I'm a little low energy right now, but that's the grind. Anyways, hope you all have a good night. I will talk to you all soon.